Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. Who will the Steelers bring in at wide receiver? Whether it's trade, free agency. I know in the draft they're probably going to take a guy depending on what they do here. They're probably going to draft a guy. But in free agency, I know the Steelers have been reports that they're going to look for a big name receiver. That they still can be in the works of trading for a big receiver, so we don't know what could happen. We've seen. I know the Steelers are going to either get Russell Wilson or Justin Fields this offseason, but I did not think they're going to get both. Them getting both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and Patrick Queen, I did not expect that one. I knew we were going to be out there and have interest in them, and Patrick Queens and Devin Whites, but I thought we actually want to sign Patrick Queen to a 3-year deal too at that. So the Steelers been doing a lot of crazy things, a lot of shocking things as well, and doing some great moves. So we're going to see what happens. But the first person, of course, is Brandon Aiyuk. Brandon Aiyuk's name has been circulating around a lot. The Steelers have been, and there've been rumors about the Steelers could be interested in Brandon Aiyuk, bringing him in, and then there's a report at the 49ers offered the Jaguars Brandon Aiyuk for the 17th pick and Zay Jones. So they offering people Brandon Aiyuk and trying to like deal them out. Maybe it's a report. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's been a report that's been circling around all day yesterday, today and yesterday as well. But if that report is true, then it kind of like opened up a lot too for you to kind of like deal with Brandon Aiyuk as well, because Brandon Aiyuk, I think he's on his they picked his 5th-year option up, so he's on his 5th year now, and they have to figure out something, a way to pay him. He coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, had 1,300 last year and 7 touchdowns as well, played phenomenal football. So he coming off of that big-time year. They got to find a way to pay him. Most likely he's going to be warranted more than what Christian Kirk got a few years ago, and some of the other guys got, some of the receivers got, I think St. Brown was paid, I think St. Brown was paid pretty good too as well. So he probably warranted around a 22 mil, 23 mil per year, like that. He could demand that much money like that. We'll see what actually happens. And the Steelers could have the money available since they're not paying a big time quarterback name. Like they got most of their money is on defense, but the Steelers could warrant and pay that money as well to Brandon Aiyuk. We'll see on what happens, but I think Brandon Aiyuk to the Steelers would be a great deal. Not just because he looked like Coach Tomlin with dreads, but because it would just be a great, pairing. He complement George Pickens well. George Pickens is a deep threat receiver, big time receiver, very good contested catches, can make things happen down the field. One of those splash type guys. The guys you have like the Mike Evans of the league. Especially Larry Fitzgerald when he was younger. Larry Fitzgerald type of style, Anquan Bolden type of style. Those guys, Andre Johnson, like that. Those big receivers and get downfield and make things happen. But you always need a complement guy, a guy who can do things in the middle. Guys who can do things crossing, the route runner type. George Pickens is a good route runner, but he's not like a Brandon Aiyuk, the way he run routes and the way he make things happen too. I think Brandon Aiyuk would complement him well, and that'd be a great addition to add to the team. And plus, if you do that, you won't have to go in the draft and try to find a receiver or something. So you just be in there and just say, hey, we can just find some other positions that we need. Add another cornerback probably if you want to, and a center, right tackle, and do stuff like that. And then you say, hey, we ain't got to go out there and draft the receiver, since we already got Brandon Aiyuk, who's 26, and we're going to pay him some big money too as well. But I don't know if the Steelers going to do that, but we never know what they could do, because Mr. Khan been doing some crazy things. I'm DB Khan. He will be telling me the stuff he's doing, but he haven't told me anything. I've been looking up like, what is that? What is this? And seeing all the craziest trades, the craziest stuff that been going on. But that still surprised me, getting Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I knew Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, one of the other were going to come here, but I think we have both of those guys in. So that was actually crazy. But another guy on his list too, Mike Williams, who they was I think he's visiting the Steelers. I don't know if it's today. I said later. I think he visited him later this week like that. So he's visiting the Panthers, Jets, and the Steelers. That'd be a big time signing. Mike Williams is a good player. 2,000-yard seasons, had a lot of 800-plus-yard seasons. Remember out of Clemson, he was very highly rated. I remember watching all his stuff at Clemson and stuff, and he was a good player. He played with Deshaun Watson. I think he was in Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Watson guy like that. He was very good. Just the injuries, that's the only concern about him. He's a very good player, very talented player, very good at getting up down the field. Now he's kind of like George Pickens style, so he'd be kind of having two of the same players, but you wouldn't mind it though, being on the side like that, making plays and stuff down the sideline. I think George Pickens can be a more finesse type of receiver if he put that more into his game to complement each other well. But I think Mike Williams would be a great addition to add to the team, but the health concern, that's the only thing. Most likely it'd be probably a 1-year deal, prove it like deal, maybe 1 year, maybe $7-8 million or something on type of deal, maybe 9, 10 at most maybe, but probably like a 1-year deal. But I don't think I think he'd do well if he stays healthy. He can go out there and probably put 1,000 yards next to George Pickens as well. But if he doesn't stay healthy, then it's going to be bad for him, of course, and bad for us as well too. So we'll see what happens fully. But I think maybe if you stay healthy and go out there and be a performer that we need on the outside, a deep threat, contested catches down the field, with that speed he has too, and using athleticism, 6'4", 220 pounds, I think he can be a dynamic piece for the team. But gotta stay healthy. Another guy too that was on the list, people was talking about Stefon Diggs. I don't think that's going to happen though. Stefon Diggs is not leaving the Bills, and plus I wouldn't want Stefon Diggs on the Steelers. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player, phenomenal player, amazing player. But we ain't got time to deal with all the craziness, the headaches. He's one of those receivers that's a little, headache receiver. You're like, okay, he's doing good. We don't get targeted. We already got George Pickens here. George Pickens have his moments where he started whining and crying too as well. Sometimes we can't have two people. We had Deontay Johnson. We just got rid of him. Like my favorite receiver, some of my favorite receivers to watch, of course, Antonio Brown and those guys was great and stuff, but they used to whine so much. Larry Fitzgerald, one of my favorites to watch. Larry Fitzgerald was the most professional receiver I ever seen, most upstanding player on the field and off the field I've seen. He was one of the best to watch and go out there and make plays, never whine, never complain. And most time he got the ball because you don't get the ball to Larry Fitzgerald, you're probably gonna lose. But Larry Fitzgerald was an amazing player, Hall of Fame player. I like guys like that. I like players like that to be like Larry Fitzgerald was. So, but a lot of those receivers nowadays are lacking what Larry Fitzgerald was. But hopefully, George Pickens, just learned to later in the year he did kind of improve a little bit, controlling his demeanor. I mean, one game he only had one catch, but he was still cool like that. We was winning the games and stuff like that. I like to see that because some guys, when you're winning and they don't catch the ball all, they cry and complain. I'm like, what's going on? At the end of the day, if you catch 130 receiving yards and we go out there and lose, we're still a loss like that. But you happy because you got 130, right, and 2 touchdowns and stuff. You want that? You selfish. You want like just self accolades and stuff. You see, I like players who like, hey, I don't care if I get the ball or not, but as long as that scoreboard has where we have more points than other team and we win, that's all I'm happy with right there. But not a lot of players nowadays think like that. But there's some guys, of course, nowadays that think like that, but not a lot of players who think in that sense too. So we're gonna see what happened. But I wouldn't be all for Stefon Diggs because of that. We've seen all the stuff that's happened with the Bills a little bit. I know some of the stuff maybe over-exaggerated. The media like to over-exaggerate stuff, but just seeing the way he be doing things sometimes, like with the Vikings and with the Bills now, and people say he been asking for trade, and he said, I declined. I never asked for a trade. And they say he did ask for a trade, and all type of things have been going on. We can't be dealing with all that right now. Another person on the list was DK Metcalf. He's a good player too, but though DK Metcalf and Mike Williams are very similar to like George Pickens' play style, so I don't think the Steelers could get him like that. It'd be cool, but I doubt the Seahawks get rid of DK Metcalf. That'd be absolutely crazy for them. But some guys who are free agents, like I mentioned Mike Williams, another guy that's free agent is Hunter Renfrow. He'd be a perfect complement player to George Pickens. Now, Hunter Renfrow the past 2 years haven't really done a lot. Last year he had 300 yards. The year before that he had 300 yards, but the year before that he had 1,000 and 103 catches. That's the year he made the Pro Bowl. Him and Deontay Johnson made the Pro Bowl the same year. And Hunter Renfrow's a very good route runner, very precise, very tough, very shifty player, quick player too as well. Like I mentioned, Ricky Parcells reminds me of Hunter Renfrow and Jarvis Landry, that one in the draft. I keep mentioning him from Florida. I think he's very similar in that play style of Landry, Hunter Renfrow type. Those guys who are shifty, who can work in the slot well, and is crafty in their route running. But Hunter Renfrow, I think he'll be a good addition, and he might be cheap as well to get in free agency. On a 1-year deal, most likely he probably ask for that so he can approve it deal, so he can be able to ask for more money in a long run and stuff. So I think Hunter Renfrow getting added to the team would be nice. And I think with that way, if you do like George Pickens and you get Hunter Renfrow, we have Calvin Austin still as well. And there's Mims on the roster as well. We got Callaway as well. I know we had Marquez Callaway from the Saints on the team as well. And then we also could just draft a receiver too and add to the mix. We have Pickens, the receiver we drafted, and then you have Hunter Renfrow. So that wouldn't be a bad receiving core right there. That'd actually be pretty good too. We'll see what happens though. But another guy too I had on the list, maybe potentially Michael Gallup. I know the Cowboys released Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup was a good player, but same thing like Mike Williams. Now, Mike Williams had more production than Michael Gallup over his tenure, but Michael Gallup is good, but he got to stay healthy. Ever since he got injured, that ACL tear, hit that big-time season, the Cowboys paid him that big money, and he came back, and he was banged through his ACL and got banged up and kept getting banged up and just couldn't stay healthy and wasn't very consistent down the field like he once was. So if he can get back to regular season form, that'd be good. I think Michael Thomas is a free agent too as well. I don't think he signed with anybody yet. Michael Thomas is a free agent, I think. from the Saints. He's a guy who was once upon a time, had the most catches in the season, right? Had like 147 catches, I think. And then, the injuries happened to his ankle, and then he just never was the same again. So a lot of these guys are good players. It's just like the injuries. Can they overcome the injuries and get back to the form they once was? Sometimes new scenery can help you a little bit. Being in like a secondary role, like kind of like when the expectations are low, can help you a little bit. In those scenarios where you was the guy, and if your fan base and your team saw you as the guy, and you got injured and you came back and you wasn't the same like you once was, it kind of put that pressure on you. But now going to different scenery, kind of rebuilding yourself up, trying to reclaim what you once was, could probably help out some of these guys. So I think Hunter Renfrow, Michael Gallup, Mike Williams, the guys that still could look at free agents. And Tyler Boyd was one of the guys at first, but I think I was watching SteelerNation Australia stream earlier. He said something about that Tyler Boyd and the Steelers. I did see that little one report that they was talking about this. They was interested. I didn't see. He said he saw the report, but Tyler Boyd and the Steelers lost interest, and it was like disgruntled until they couldn't reach an agreement or something like that happened. And most likely was probably dealing with like a long-term agreement. Most likely, because I think Tyler Boyd might want some stability. And the Steelers probably like, we'll give you a short-term deal or something. So they probably maybe got out of disorder a little bit. Maybe they can reconcile and come back together and see if Tyler Boyd can come back to Pittsburgh and be a Steeler, because he played for the Pittsburgh Panthers, and it was expected that Steelers were going to draft him, but we didn't draft him, and the Bengals took him, and he did pretty good with the Bengals. Like, he had some pretty good years with the Bengals. I think as a Steelers player, he would be good, especially in the slot, and then whoever we draft on the other side. But I think the best bet the Steelers was to go out there and go all in on the guy who's a big name. Brandon Aiyuk is the guy you go after. That's the guy you got to go after right there. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Most likely tomorrow video is gonna be something. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. This one right here is the last minute one. I just thought about the video right now, and I was like, hey, let me make it right now and upload it right now. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, most likely at 7 o'clock. Most time the videos be lunch, and then on Thursday I'm gonna have the mock draft coming too. On Wednesday, I might not have a video. I might have a video, but I might not have a video. I gotta see. But Thursday we'll have a mock draft coming. I think that's to be the 6.0. I think be a 6.0 mock draft. And then Friday we'll have some stuff too as well. And Saturday, weekends most of the time, like on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, be mostly basketball stuff. So I always keep the basketball on the weekend, like kind of like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like end of the week type stuff, and then football up in the week. So we'll see what happens. But when news happens, I just always have to upload some stuff when like crazy news happen, like anybody getting traded or signed or something. But yeah, I see you guys when I see you, and peace out. Now, is this going to be a pop type music or a street music?